Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna work on user controllers. So alright, let's get right into it. So I open up my VS Code and inside Amazon clone we have backend folder and client folder. So inside backend folder we have a controller, and then also inside controllers we have a user controller. So I open up it, and then I have all the controller like sign up, login, logout, upgrade seller, get user, update user, and delete user. So one by one I'm gonna explain to you a detailed explanation, and I'm gonna give you a framework. I'm gonna give you a blueprint, so you can build your own logic by asking questions. So before explaining any controller, I want to give you that blueprint. So okay, so this 6 question is very important to write a controller, right? As I told you, right now we have to solve a real problem. So we need some strategy, we need some blueprint. So I observe and then I create this model to help you to understand like any difficult logic or anything. There is a 6 element. First is I, input. Second is V for validation, like valid. P for permission or rules. A for action. R for related updates, and R for response. So to remember it, you can write it like I par or I valid permission and and related response. Right? You can read it like this: I valid permission and related response. Right? I par, like I par, or like 4 par, or whatever it is. So you have to ask this 6 question, and I will show you inside my controller where I use this question, and you can understand each section of my code with this model or this blueprint. And to trust me, it's very helpful to write any controller. And the first question is, you have to ask yourself, is that did I get input? Second, did I validate it? Third, did I check permission or rules? Fourth, did I do the main action? Fifth, did I update anything else related? Sixth, did I respond to the client? This is the 6th blueprint I'm gonna follow on my controller, and each section where I use this question, where I ask this question, I'm gonna show you. So please remember these things, and if you want to screenshot, do it, or you can get the code on GitHub. So don't worry. Let's back to VS Code. So I just close my sidebar and let's open up this sign up controller. So sign up, we need as I explained to you earlier, like all the models, user model. Okay, so based on user model, we are going to grab all the data. Okay, so this is the async function. So async function means it takes times, right? And when you use async, we definitely use await, right? And you also use a try block catch. Inside try block, we do all the logic, and inside catch block, if something goes wrong, we catch inside catch block. Alright, the first question. So follow this sequence, a request and a response. This request is coming from frontend, and this response you send to frontend, right? So you have to follow this sequence, and it doesn't matter. You can put full request, like I just make it simple request or response, but the order is matter. And then you have to ask yourself, did I get the input? Okay, whatever data you want to grab from frontend. This is the question. Did I get the input? And we have this 4 input from inside the sign up. So name, email, password, gender, right? From request.body, because this data are coming from frontend input. So user put their value or their information inside the input, right? The second question, did I validate it? Did I validate it? So yeah, you have to check it, like is there like name, email, password, gender, and then inside this if clause, if statement. So I think if is a statement, like inside this parenthesis, if anything, if it's true, then run this block of code, right? If it's false, then skip this, right? So here we are using a not operator, which means if, and we also use for operator. So what operator says, if name is not there, okay, if any of them is not false, which means it's gonna be true, and then we have to, and then this block of code run, which means all fields are required, right? Or let's say all the data is valid, and user provide all the data, so this block of code gonna skip, okay? And then third question you have to ask, did I check permission or rules? Did I check permission rules? So this block of code is about this question, okay? So the permission or rules. So here just it's a permission, is that like existing user, right? So this is the user collection. So inside user collection, I'm gonna find the email. Okay, so this is a find on method, and then I pass email. This email is coming from frontend, the request.body, and then I also use if statement. Okay, so inside this parenthesis, if this user exists, okay, that means it's true. Run this block of code. That means inside this user has the email, so that email already exists. So I don't let anybody to put same email. So I want all the user to use a unique email, right? So that's why I'm just checking these things. So that is the question. Did I check permission or rules, right? And the fourth question is, this is a main question, and it's a main thing. Did I do the main action? Did I do the main action? And action can vary. Action can vary, controller to controller, right? And it's also depend on the complexity, right? The more complex the feature you have, the more it gets more complicated to handle it, right? And that is the fourth question. Did I do the main action? So in this sign up, we have just basic things, is that just we have to hash the password. So I'm using here, first it's a salt, it's a variable name, and then I use await, and I'm using bcrypt. Okay, so this is a bcrypt, and this is a gen sort. So it's a method. It's generate 10, like like at least 10. The more, the higher number, the higher security. So 10 is enough, right? And then I put a name hash password. It's a variable name, and then also repeat hash. So with help of this password is coming from frontend or request body, and this salt is this salt. So combine it's gonna create a hash. So hash means on database you cannot see the raw password. So it should be hash, right? And then after that maybe, but yeah. So like in our case, we want user to provide image. So image is a file, right? It's not a text. So to understand a file, we have request.file. So first we initialize it's an empty string, right? And then request.file. If file is exist, that means user provide file. Then run this block of code. Right? So then it's a result name, right? Then we use await upload Cloudinary. So it's a utility. So we write a separate upload utility, upload Cloudinary utility. Don't worry, I'm gonna explain to you. Okay, so this is the utility function, and I'm passing this argument. We have two arguments. First is a request.file.path, and then second argument is folder name, right? And then we get the result. This result. So inside result, lot of things out there, but here we only care about secure URL, right? And result, and then we store here profile image. And now this profile image have this secure URL, right? And after that, we have to create a user instance, right? Then we have to save it. So here you are, we are creating an instance, and we call object. Okay, so new is a keyword, so it's help to create a new instance. And then this is the user collection, and we are passing this object. Inside this, parenthesis, we pass an object, and the name, email, password, gender, profiling, right? So the way we structure our data inside schema, okay, same way we have to do it, right? So and hash password, this is the name, but inside our collection we have this password. So we have to do the thing, but here also we have like this, like name, but Node.js and allow us to this way. If the name is same, like if the key pair is same, so this is our object, right? So we have like this. So it's a key pair, like it's a key and it's a value, right? So if key and value is same name, so you can write this way. So it's gonna work, right? So that is the things. But here we have different name like password and hash password. So that's why we have to mention this way. If we have this password, then we don't need to write again. This verse you can understand very easily. And after creating a new user, we have to save this user instance or user object. So we use await and user.save. Save is a method, so we run it, and then the fifth question is, did I update anything else related? So remember, guys, I want to show you again something. So in my previous earlier, I talked about what I mean by related data. It's very important. Otherwise, I think, let me show you again. What the heck? So related means this is a user ID. Okay, so we have reference like list product, Okay, so it's a other collection, like it's a product collection you have, and then we have also order collection, right? So if you want to change user, you have to understand, because this user link with product and order. So you have to remember is that is there, like user can influence that document or that collection. If yes, then you have to update it, right? You have to think like this. So let's back to VS Code. So in this case, we don't have like this, but we have to update it like this. The question is, did I update anything else related? So we have here, because we are using so we are using token, like JW token. Okay, so this is a JWT, so we import here like this way. This is a JSON web, and then we name it JWT. So yeah, and then this is a token, and just we are using sign. So let me show you the syntax, how this syntax works. So this is a verify and sign. Where is the sign syntax? Now you have this, so inside, JSON web token, we have this sign method. Okay, and this is a, syntax. So we are passing three things: payload, okay, then secret or private key. Third is array. So inside array we have option and callback, right? So payload, the data you want to store inside the token. It could be the role, the user ID, or email, whatever you want to store. So basically we want to store like maybe role or maybe user ID, right? Yeah, but you can extend it as you want. And then secret private key. So if you don't know JWT, so JWT allow us to provide a secret key. So that means it get more secure things. And then option. In option, you pass like an expire date or like issue or all the things. And then callback. It's optional, but if you want to use callback instead of returning synchronously, okay. So we are going to use callback. Okay. So this is a syntax, like sign syntax, right? JWT sign. That's back to VS Code. So this is it's a variable name, and then JW sign, and then it's the ID user. So this is the user. So it's a user. This user is coming from database. So it's a user collection, and we have this ID. Right? As I told you, every collection have their own private key. So we are calling key, right? So this is the ID, and then we have role also. So inside token, we want to store a user ID and user role. And then this is the JW secret. Let me show you again. Inside my environment variable, I have JW secret, and just whatever you can put it, right? So this is the demo. Don't copy my things, okay, mine things, because I'm gonna delete after this recording. So yeah. So I'm using these things like, and then as I told you, first is a payload and second is a private key or secret key. So process.env JW secret, and then third is it's an option, right? And yeah, and also we have callback. So here we are not using callback function, but we are using option. So in 7 days, within 7 days, this token is gonna be expire. You can increase 10 days, 20, 30, whatever it is. But like usually people at least 30 days. But in my case, 7 days is fine because it's a practice project. And then I have to update cookie. Let me show you the syntax first, because you are going to deal with a lot. So that's why I prepare you. This is syntax. Response, okay, this response, and then cookie. So we have name, value, and option. We have name, value, and option. So name, whatever the name you put previously, you have to use here, and value. So I'll show you. Let's back to VS Code. This is the name token, and this is the value. Okay. And remember, whatever name you put here, when you write or when you create a middleware, and if you want to access this cookie, you have to put this name to remember. And then this is a value and this option, right? This is the option. So we have HTTP only true. That means JavaScript cannot decode this token or cookie. That's why we are putting HTTP only true. And then it's a secure, like, production. So I show you these things. So you can dynamically adjust. And then max age 7 days. And then third question is, did I respond to the client? Okay. So if all the things is good, so we have to provide a OK message. That means OK status. So 200, like 201. This is the message. So if you don't know, just search all the message, you can get it. And then JSON object. So we have to send with JSON object. The success is true. Message is user registered successfully. And then from backend, I already structured the data. So in Frontend, you don't need to you can access easily, right? But let's say if you don't want to do this things, then it's also fine. So whatever inside user collection you can get on Frontend, right? So yeah, it's your choice. But yeah, because I don't know all the things, just I care about user ID, username, email, role, gender, profile name. Okay, and guys, make sure, because like somehow, let's say you want other data, but you don't, you forget to the structure. So maybe you can get some unexpected behavior because of structuring. Because you want to get that data on Frontend, but somehow you forget to mention here. So then you have to debug it. So just take your time, understand what type of data you want to fetch on Frontend. So based on that, just the structure here. Alright. So yeah, and then catch block. So after that, if your code if something goes wrong, so here you can show all the things. So I console log for debugging purpose. So console error and sign up error, and then inside error we have message method. So error dot message, and then I send to 500 a message, response status, and then success false message, server error during sign up. You can customize the message, right? So yeah, so I spend a lot of time to make you understand, because yeah, if you understand the blueprint, you understand the structure, how we write the code, then it will be easy for you to write other logic. Just remember this 6 question, right? And throughout this tutorial, all the controller I'm gonna explain to you very easily. And even guys, I create a test. So here you can also see very easily. It helps you a lot. So you can see also I comment, and then inside upper boundary and lower boundary I put that question, right? So yeah, it's very helpful. So yeah, this test is for just showing you, so you can go through my all controller, and inside this file I have all controller. So yeah, and yeah, so this test, just for show you, like you can ask yourself the question and you can go through with that command. But my main controller, just we have question. And even though here you cannot see that question, right? So if you want to go through this way, like asking question, so you have to follow this file h.js, right? So everything I organize for you guys, so we can create a mental model to solve the real world problem. So this is the sign up. This is the sign up controller, and next we are going to work the login controller. Login is similar to sign up, right? Just its difference, we are dealing with email and password, nothing else, right? So same things, we are using async function. Throughout all the controller, we are going to use asynchronous function and the same order, response and request and response, right? So as I told you, we are going to deal with email and password. So from a request body, we can destructure. So if you don't know, so mostly you can see the syntax, destructuring, right? Even let me show you how we can write it this way. This is a destructuring, and let's say email, and then we can do this. Sorry. Let's say request body email. So you have to write this way. So like we are writing double, like here email and here email, right? So that's destruction is coming. So you can see this this syntax a lot. So yeah, mostly I'm gonna use destructuring, but in some code you can see not using destructuring, because to understand you, okay, we can write this way as well when it needs, right? So yeah, so the first question you have to ask, did I get input? Yes, I'm getting input. Second question, did I valid? So here you don't need to valid, right? You don't need to valid, or you can validate invalid email, or right? So it's not necessary inside every controller you have to follow 6 question, but mostly we have to follow, mostly all the controller follow that 6 question, that 6 blueprint, but in some case it's not necessary, right? So if you want to ask a question, so you have to follow this controller. Let me, yes. So yeah, so here, so you can get these things very easily. This is the input, and did a valid data. So this is the user, right? And then, so this is the variable name, and this user is a user collection. Find one, then email, and then also I'm checking if user is not there, just send to frontend this message, invalid email or password. Have to solve, and the status code is 400, and then also is match, and then I'm comparing, because in our backend database there is no raw data. Okay, so when you sign in, so your password is stored is based on hashing, right? So but we have to get it back in the raw data. So that's why in bcrypt package we have compare method. So that's why we are using compare method, and then we are passing 2 parameters. This parameter is coming from frontend, and user is a user collection. As I told you, the user is a it's a collection. The inside user we have password, right? So that's why this user and this password we are comparing. If it's a matching, then we are good to go. But if there is wrong, So we cache here, and then we are using if state, and you can see we are using like NOR operator, right? So which means it's gonna flip it. So that means match. That means this exists. So you know, in if statement, it's gonna false. So if it's true, then run this code. So here it's true, right? So we have to make it false. Then it's gonna run. So here it's true, right? So invalid password. And then third question: did I do the action? Yeah, second question: did I check the permission or rules? So here we don't have that permission or rules, so we can jump that question. And the next question is permission. Like, did I do the main action? Yes. So we have to sign in, right? So I use this. I create token when you create, like when you sign up and when you log in. But mostly people do both, but some people prefer to do these things on login. So yeah, same things, nothing else. Same code, login and sign up. As I told you, its functionality is same, right? So already we cover up the login, the sign up, and then third is logout, right? So here just we have very simple thing. Just we have to clear the cookie. So before explain to you, let me show you the syntax, the clear syntax. Here you have that syntax. Clear cookie. We have two arguments or two parameters. So name and option. So name, as I told you, the name of the cookie you want to clear. So when you write, like when you create, when you sign the token, the name you put, you have to put here same name, right? Yeah. So it's cool. So it's a name and it's a option. It's a name, it's an option, right? This is a name and this is the option. Only true, and then these things, and then send the request. Success true, message logout successful. And then inside we have to handle the, if something goes wrong, so we can handle and we can catch inside catch block. Console log error and then message status code 500, success false, message server error during logout, right? So this is the controller, right? So this is the controller. Now, as I told you, we are using here, the upload to Cloudinary the helper function or utility, right? So let me explain to you right now because it's time to explain. So you can explain, like you can write that code inside the controller, but we are going to use same controller multiple times. So I separate, then you can just call it, right? So we have these two separate: upload to Cloudinary and delete from Cloudinary. Okay, let's first understand upload to Cloudinary. It's very simple, a code, and it's very simple code. Alright, so here you can see I import FS, so it's a file system from Node.js, and then also it's a path, and I import Cloudinary. So if you, from the config, you can see here, this is our Cloudinary SDK, setup. It's a basic setup. I think you know, but I just remember you. And okay, so this is the asynchronous function, and I'm passing two things: file path and option. File path and option. In option, it's an empty object, and then inside try block. First I get file extension. Okay, path, xname, file path. and then I make it to lowercase. Whatever file name is, I'm gonna make it lowercase. So yeah, and ext, all the things I just may assign here, and then you have to decide what type of resource we are going to do, because Cloudinary provide, you can upload image, you can upload audio, you can upload video, right? So you have to decide. So if resource type is not there, you run this block of code, right? So now you are generating MP3, WAV, ACK, MP4A or OGG, and then you include ext, and then you create as a default video. So in Cloudinary, audio and video treat like same. If you put audio, but Cloudinary treat like video. Okay, it's very funny. And if not video, it's gonna run image, right? So yeah, and then this is the result. So I use Cloudinary. It's this name, and then uploader. This is the function. This is the object. Like this is the object, and this is the upload function, right? So and then we pass file path and option, and then we return the result, right? So this file path and this option are coming from that controller. Let me show you again. This is the understanding the flow. So yeah, the file path and the option. This is the file path and this is the option. This is the file path and this is the option. And then you return the result. And then also here you also use, catch. If anything is wrong, we first console error to understand for debugging purpose, and we throw the error. And finally, we just delete the temporary file path from our system. That's why we are using unlinked sync. And then we export as a default upload Cloudinary, right? So yeah, this is the upload Cloudinary. And so far we discussed sign up, login, log out. Let's understand the update seller. It's very simple, nothing else. And if you want to go with this test file, so you can ask the question. But before, let's understand the middleware. Okay, the middleware, because right now you have to use middleware. It's very important. So this is a middleware. So middleware means to do some action. Okay, middleware is a simple function, and that check is that to some certain some authorization. Okay, if you are, let's say, you want to do some tasks. So here's the middleware job. Middleware can check: are you login user? Are you buyer? Or maybe are you login user, or are you an admin, or are you authorized user or authenticate? Lot of tasks we can do. And not only we have one middleware, we can put multiple middleware. So in this our project, we are going to use one middleware, and this is the easy login middleware. You can create multiple middleware based on your requirement. Okay, so in this code you don't see any question, but I want you to practice some more, so I can go with this test.js. This all the code I create here, and yeah, here you go. The first question, I remember you. Did I get input? Yes, token. And this is the name. Whatever name you put there, as I told you, when you access, you have to put this name. So request cookies, and we are using optional chaining, which means if token is not there, it's not gonna crash. But if token is undefined, or if you don't use this, question mark, that means optional chaining. So it's gonna crash your logic or your project. That's why always use optional chaining. If you think that should be undefined, right? So, and it's a variable name. And then, did I valid? Alright, if token is not there, so this message. So the status code is to return the status code 401, and then we pass this object. Success, false, message, authentication failed, token not provide, please log in to access this resource. This is the generic message. You can modify the things, right? So yeah. So sorry guys, I'm just drinking water. So alright. So the second question is, did I check permission or rules or condition? Well, yes. This is the verify method inside JWT, JSON Web Token. Let me show you the syntax first. This is a verify. We have first token, okay. Then we have secret or private key, and then option and callback. Here we are going to use callback. Again, the token, the JW string, the one you set in the cookie or header. Recently, you set, and then secret like your JW secret, an option like things like algorithm or issuer, and then callback function that runs after verification. And then this way we are going to do it. First error, and then inside callback, this syntax we are going to follow. First error, and then decoded things. Let's back to VS Code. So this is the token, and this is the token, guys. It's a token, right? So it's a first argument, second is a private key, and third is a option. So here we don't have option, but we have callback function. So yeah, callback also including in option. And then as I told you, we have to follow this error, and then decoded. Okay, so it's a user payload, and then it's a callback function. That means if it's done, then run this thing. If it's false, it's not gonna run. So if you get any error, we can catch inside first argument, and then if error is there, so we console for debugging purpose, and then we message invalid or expired token 403. If it is successful, then run the callback function, and also you have to ask the question, did I do the main action? Yes. So I just assign user payload inside request.user, and then this is the method to continue to next middleware or controller, and then inside catch block, same things, right? Same, we will follow same inside the catch block. So if you want to create a separate like error handling, so you can write, and then you can just call here. But yeah, it's okay, just for learning purpose. And yeah, so you can understand this middleware, and we are going to use this middleware to not let you do some tasks. If you're not login user, so you can watch my content, okay, but you are not gonna do anything. But for our case, maybe from website you can see all the product, but when it comes to do order, you can't, because you are not a login user. So if you do some action, then we can show the pop-up message, hey man, you are not a login user, please do that. Right? A lot of use cases out there. So this is the login. It's a middleware, and then update seller. It's very simple. We just update that role, and that's it. And then we can update. Then we can save that things into MongoDB. It's very simple logic. But we have to understand all the things. First question, remember, did I get input? It's not necessary you have to get input from a request body. You can get from middleware. You can get from a param, right? So here we are getting from middleware. This is a middleware. Guys, think for a second. Request user. Recently we assigned here. If you notice carefully, this way. Request user and then user payload. So this user payload we have here. If you look at login or assign, we assign this way, ID. So inside user payload we have this ID. So whatever you put here, if you change, let's say you change user ID, suppose you change it, let's say user ID, then you have to do here user ID. Alright, so I just do the things. Right, so yeah. So remember, everything you have to understand, man. Otherwise, you can't understand the flow. So yeah, this is coming from middleware. And then we have to ask the question, did I validate the data? Yes. User. You are passing that user ID, this user ID. And then if this user ID exists in the user collection, that means this variable become true. And then we can check if not there, this user ID, to show the message, user not found with 404 status. I think you guys see a lot this thing. If you couldn't found any document or any things, website can show you 404 message in right. So and then also this is a question valid, and also the third question here we should have, but I forget to mention. The question is, did I check the rules, check the permission? This is a third question. So here I'm checking user.role. If seller, user.role, if seller, then show this, then run this block of code, which means you already seller. So why are you trying to do again? Even though on Frontend we can handle, okay, but also we are handling backend, because backend is very important. On Frontend you can handle based on the UI, based on the backend, right? So yeah, but somehow if you do try to do that, so you can't do that, because we are not allowed to do that. And even you can get a message, user is already a seller, right? And the fourth question is, did I do the main action? Did I do the main action? If you don't do it, like your code, you can get unexpected behavior, because you didn't do the main things, but you have to do, right? So yeah, so the first your code flow, like your user schema. So in your brain okay, I'm gonna update that seller to that buyer to seller, because if you look at the user schema, okay, so we use the enum, right? So right now as a default we have buyer, but now we want to change the role, buyer to seller, right? So that's the things we are doing here. So now to change this seller, right, manually, Alright. So yeah, and then we update. So we update this state like this field user dot role is equal to seller, and then we save. Then you can get a then you can see the effect on backend or MongoDB or database, right? So and then we have to assign again a token JW sign, and then it's a payload, and ID user ID, and role is a role, and then the private key, and then the option. And same things we have to pass the cookie, because right now we change a role, so we have to do the same things, right? These two things we did in login and sign up controller, but we have to do because you are changing the role from buyer to seller. So seller should have these things, right? So because when you become a seller on Frontend, we don't want to relog in, right? That's what we are doing here. If you don't do this, so let's say if you change your role, so maybe you have to log in again, right? So it's not a good user experience. So you have to maintain a good experience, right? So that's why I just focus on to understand the flow, the architecture, because life is technology is a tools, and as a users, as a developer, our job to solve the user problem. So you have to think a lot of angle, right? That's why I told you it's a problem solving skill. And then the fourth question, did I respond to client? Yes. So the way you want to, so you have to structure. So let's say I want to send ID, name, email, role. Same like login, right? Same like login, and then also catch. Same message, server error during role. Okay, so guys, this is the upgrade seller. Now we have more 3. Get auth user. This is the current login user. So when you log in, then we can populate all the things with help of this this get auth user, right? So did I get the input? Yes, and this is coming from middleware, and then perform the action. Even these are things you can validate here. What I did below, because if you look at this, I think most of the follow this structure. That's why I follow, because this is a standard. First populate, then check. If you want to do first check then populate, it's your choice, but you can see this code a lot. So here I get input, and then I do the performance. So user collection, and then find by ID. This is the method, and then user ID. So I'm checking, just check this user ID. If the user ID exists, so it's gonna become true. And then I just use select. That means don't include password. This select is does. Then populate. So we have listed product, order, and then cart, right? So this is the things we have 3, as I explained to you when I explained in user models. So yeah, I think I also open up. Here you have 3 things. First is cart, then product, and then order. So if you don't use populate, so one Frontend you can get the ID, only ID. So but we want the entire product collection, the product object. So that's why you have to use populate. So populate, let MongoDB to show the entire object, right? And we are doing this way. We are populate the product list, orders, and cart. Inside we have nested things, a card and then also nested. If you look at this card, so yeah, not here. If you look at the card, let me have to show you, man. We have nested here items, right? We have this nested. That's why we are using path here also, because it's a nested. So this is the path, and then inside we have also path and then item product. All right, I think you understand. You guys are genius. And then I just validate. If user is not there, so user not found with 404 status. And then ask, did I respond to client? And then I just structure here. If you want everything, don't do this way. If you want particular things, do this way. ID, username, user email, user role, user gender, and all the things, right? And then catch block. So it's very simple, right? Just follow this 6 questions and the flow, right? So yeah, this is a get user, and mostly you can see this controller is very helpful throughout our project. So there's a lot of things I'm gonna do with these things, and then update user. So with this controller, you can update your, let's say you are, yeah, in my project, you can update your profile. Let's say you create, you sign up, and after 1 month or maybe 1 week, you want to update your profile, your data, your email, your password, whatever it is, you can do with this controller. So yeah. So the question is, did I get the input? And here we have a lot of input. Alright. The first is user ID. User ID from token. Right. And I think get input, update user. I think it's not there like this. Yeah. User ID from, yeah. So I think, yeah. This is the request user ID. And yeah. So, and then this ID is coming from params. This ID is coming from param. And then here I'm just destructuring. And then name, email, password, gender. It's coming from body. So all the data I created in such a way, so if you only provide email, so only you want to update just your email. So with this controller, you can. So it's gonna be dynamic controller, dynamic updation. So also profile image and request files. And then valid user. Right, if user is not there, then user not found. We message it. And also if ID is not there, let's say, okay, let me say something. This ID is coming from param. If you don't know, param means the parameter. Okay, so we call it a param. So actually we are accessing this ID from like from Frontend. So one Frontend, the user we want to update. So let's say we are into a page, the user page, okay? So you can see the ID, okay? And that ID grab from URL, like params, right? So use param, like, yeah, we are going to use param, then we can access that. And then we can send to content, a backend, and backend can access with the routes. And then we're accessing that ID from that route, like, request params. And then if param ID is not equal to the login user ID, that means the ID, the document I want to update, like let's say I'm login user, but I want to update the other user account. So I can't do that. So yeah, not authorized to update this user. So I message, and that I valid all the email. So email, and yeah, so I check double. I use AND operator. But if email is exist, okay, and email is not is equal to the user email. Same things, right? So you provide an email, but the email you want to update, it's not matching the email inside a database. So I'm not gonna allow you to do that. That's the things I'm doing here. So if it's true, run this block of code. So we have nested if state, right? So it's a variable name, and then I find that email. So that means everything is okay. The email you want to update and the email in database is equal. So it's true, and then run this code. So, and then this email is already exist. The email is already exist. That means you want to update your same email. So you provide same email, and so let's say your email is like, I'm in Jaju 6, and one input field I also write I'm in Jaju 6. So which means it's not gonna work, right? So I'm not gonna allow you again, because it use my resource, right? So yeah, if you want to update a little bit unique, so you are allowed to do that, right? So this is the logic, nothing else. And same, and then I just maintain the regex, the regular regex. Guys, you can search the ChatGPT or other things. Even I don't know. Yeah, this is the regex. It's a standard. I follow this standard. So yeah, and then I use the test. It's a method, and then I check if it's not matching. Then yeah, you're not allowed that. That means you have to put your name, then @ then Gmail, then .com. At least you have to follow this way, right? You don't follow this way, right? It's invalid. You can see this message. And then password, same thing. At least you have to provide 6 characters. Otherwise, you can see this message must be at least 6 characters long. So we valid all the things. So this is our 6th question. Did I validate? Yes, I did all the things. And then build update data object, right? So you can see the different question, but build update data object, which means I have to main task. Did I do main job, or did I do the main task, or main job? So first, actually I write this way because it shows I'm just building the update object, right? The object data. So where you can put a dynamically. As I told you, it doesn't matter what input you provide. If you provide one input, you're good to go. So we have to prepare an object. So now the name is update data, right? The name is update data, and I put empty string. And the name, if you provide name, you can update. If you provide email, you can update. And same for gender. Guys, if you notice here, I'm not using curly braces. Why? Because it's an online statement. So I think new JavaScript allow you to do that. So yeah, that's what I'm doing this. But if you want to do this way, you can do like this. But yeah, I think you have to do and then password. But for password case, you have to remember we have to hash it. So same things we are doing here, right? And then we are handling the profile image. Maybe user can update the profile. So we have to handle the profile image. It's coming from backend, right? It's coming from backend. If we are accessing here. This is a profile. Right? So we structure. the profile image. If profile image exists, then upload image, Cloudinary and called uploader, upload, and then profile image, the user profile, right? And then update it, and you have to remember. So the first one you upload, but the old one you have to delete, right? Yeah. So let me, I think this code is a little bit different. Not different, like there is I think update user. There you go, baby. Here you go. So because yeah, I know, because here you go. Yeah. So I'm just saying, if user.profile image exists, then run this. So delete from Cloudinary user.profile image, then image, right? So this is the two argument. This is it's a option, and this is a file path. Remember, delete from Cloudinary. Let me explain to you the second helper function, delete from Cloudinary, right? So we're importing Cloudinary, and then it's a function, and then file URL, resource type, so as the default image, and file URL. If file URL is not there, throw the error, and inside catch block URL paths. So this is a file URL, and we make it URL, and then you also path name, URL path, and then path name, because we are using import here. So in this syntax, as a default, it's not support. So we are doing here that's and remove leading, like all the space. So we are doing these things, and then remove hash and fold, like Cloudinary provide these things. So yeah, we are just removing this example. So this is the syntax, replace, and then remove the file extension this way, and also call the Cloudinary destroy API. The Cloudinary, it's an object, it's a method, destroy method, and the public ID, and then a resource type, and the resource type, right? And return the result, alright, and then export the delete from Cloudinary. There you go. Well, yeah. Okay, so if user profile, that means I want to update that profile. So the old one should be deleted. So yeah, here I'm doing that. So I call this utility function, and then I pass two things: user profile, that old image, it's a URL, and this is an image, it's a resource type, and then this profile image, that means the new one. So upload Cloudinary profile image, then I only care about this first things, first pair, first object, or first thing, right? So yeah, so I can get the image, the first URL, and dot path, and then the resource type, right? And then update data profile image result dot SQL URL, right? So the same things, and just we are updating this update data, nothing else. And then, and here also is there, like read it, no file to update if the user didn't send any valid field. Update data is empty object, no point in running find by ID and update. So it means, let's say I want to update something, so I don't provide anything, the same data, I click. So yeah, it's not gonna like you can call, but there is no field to update. So this is the code. So object, it's a JavaScript method, or and then keys, it's a it's an object. We have like three things: keys, value, and entries. We are going to see the things. So object allows us to create a key pair values to run a loop, right? So it's very easy. So here I only care about key. So update data length. If it's 0, that means there is no data from content to run this code. Return status 404, no valid field provided to update, right? And then the question is, did I update any related data? Did I update anything related data? We have to do it here. Update user. Okay. So update user, then find by ID and update. And this is a ID from params. And then set, it's a MongoDB operator. It creates updates, right? And then new, true, plan validated true. And then I don't provide the password. That's how you select. Then just ask yourself, did I respond to client? So yeah, true, user update successfully. And then user, and this data I only care about: user name, email, profile, and gender. So with this update users, you can do that. So it's very simple, but a little bit tricky, but not that much. Because if you ask that question and you understand the flow, the schema, so you can get very easily. And the last one is delete user. Okay. So you can go here and then update, delete user. Input, same. I think not user ID, I think ID. Yeah, so like here you can see ID, right? Here it's okay, but test doors, I think I use other things. So yeah, so ID. So this ID is coming from I think even becomes the same. Okay, okay guys, whatever it is, so it's not gonna create any things. Oh no. User ID. Yes, now it's becoming user ID, but it's not gonna work. So for simplicity, I do it here. Yeah. So you can use only this code, guys. This code. Okay. Because this code is very, but this code for just for this question, for this segmented, because where the question is, so which, like upper boundary or lower boundary. So you should have a mental model. So this code is all about. And just, use this code. Okay. Use this code. Don't use this code. Just this code for reference to understand this question. This is the first login user, and then so the question is, did I get the input? Yes, from request dot from login user, and this is a param user. This ID from param, and then did I valid or check resource? So let's check. Find ID. Okay, this is the ID from parent. If the user exists, then it's okay. Skip this code. If not, run this block of code. You will not find. And then permission. So I think we have to do it here. Now I think it gonna exist. Yeah. User ID. Yeah. Yeah. So even though it's not gonna work because I have requested user ID, not user ID. So yeah. Because if I do this way, then it's gonna work. Then now the code is okay. Now the code is okay. So here I'm not using this structure. Now this code is okay. So you can use this code too. Okay. So yeah. So here I'm checking the param ID and the login ID. If they are equal, if they are not matching, let me run this code. So right, this NOR operator is very it switch the things. If it's true, make it false. If make it false, it's true. So in if statement, as we know, if this block of line, if this line is true, then it can run this code. So somehow I have to make it this true. That means I flip it. If they are not equal, that means they are equal. Right? Oh no. If they are not equal, right? If they are not matching, they're running this code. Right? So let's say this ID is not matching. Run this code. Message. Unauthorized, you can only delete your account. Right? And yeah. So and then then you can ask yourself. Then you can ask yourself. And the fourth question is, did I do the main action? Yes. Then you have to delete first the image. Fine. So yeah, user profile. That profile exists. So this profile is from MongoDB. Okay. If this exists, run this utility. Delete from Cloudinary. This is the file path, URL path. Right. This is the resource. And if it exists, then it's gonna be deleted. And then update the readed data. Now, this is very important, guys, because let's say you are seller, so you upload the resources. Okay, you upload the resources, right? So, remind you again. So this is a very complex thing. So let's say you are a user, okay, and let's say you have this thing. You are a seller. So you have this, list product, okay, list product document. So you link this, field with the product document. So while the product you have to delete, right, from the backend, from the MongoDB, and each product have the images. So you have to delete the images, right? So maybe you have this field. So you have to understand all the edge case, okay, regarding, right, all the edge case. Maybe the user ID, the seller is linked with other, tasks or other, document. So you have to delete that document too when you want to delete yourself, right? So that is the mental model you should keep. Like, yeah, first I have to delete this account. Otherwise, the document will be exist on database, but the creator it's not there, right? So it's not like good things because you're gonna create a lot of issue. So that is the thing you have to understand. So first, then the question is, did I update anything related right? So yeah, find all product by this seller. Okay, so inside product, let's find the seller ID. Because inside seller we have the seller ID, right? We link with the user ID. This is the user ID, right? Right? And yeah, and this ID is coming from the params, right? So yeah, and we just assign here user product. Okay, delete all product images from Cloudinary. So here we are running a very, it's not a complex, but we want to delete in parallel. Yeah, we want to delete simultaneously all the things. So that's why we are creating deletion. It's a empty array because we have multiple images. Alright. So this is the outer loop. This is the product and this is the user product. So we name it product and we have nested things, right? We have nested things. That's why we are running this loop. And then yeah, run these things. Product, images, and the length. Right. If inside this product, if images exist, run these things. Then we have to run the inner loop. Because product image we have we have this array. That's why we have to run this thing. And then while the images we push this into array, push delete from all the things. This is the URL and this is the resource type. And then we call this promise.wall. So it's gonna simultaneously delete all the images. I think these things you can't get it, but I show you the things. Okay. I think I have to show you the schema, product schema. Alright. We have, man. No. We have to put a product schema. Okay. We have this image, right? Images. Right. We have these images. Right. So it's a string. That is the things. It's a string. Right? It's a string. And this product is this product, and inside this product we have images. Right. And then we are running this thing because image is an array. So we have to look through other things. And then run all the deletion in parallel. Safer with, yeah, you can use also vault settled. Right. But yeah, promise.wall is fine also. And then delete all product of this cell. So first we delete the images and then product.delete many. After deleting images, then we have to delete the product. So this is the product collection and yeah, with this seller ID. And after finally delete the user. So you delete the product and then you delete the user, right? So yeah, because inside this user, we have this product list, right? So to delete this product list, first we have to go through this product ID, and then inside this product ID, we find out this seller, right? So yeah, this one is very complicated, and this one is very complicated. But if you understand the flow, then you can write the code with help of AI or things. It's very easy. Then we have to delete the user ID. So find by ID and delete. This is the ID, right? And then we have to clear the cookie. So yeah, we write this code and then we send the status code. User delete successfully, right? So yeah, it's not very easy to understand, but if you understand, then you can solve other complex project. Just you have to remember 6 questions. Did I get input? Did I check validates a resource. Did I like did I check permissional rules? Fourth is, did I do the main action? Fifth is, did I update anything related? And sixth is, did I send to client? Did I respond to client? So understand this sixth question, and if you remember your schema, so you can write anything, guys. And yeah, that is all about a controller. Okay, so it's a six control. Yeah, this is the user controller, and yeah, for now I think it's okay. Okay, and I will see you the next video where we can explain the other controller and the user route. So for now, thank you so much.